Paymon who?
Mata Heyday.
Paymon Lata Heyday. Who is he?
Never paid taxes in 30 years. Fought the U.S. tax court and won.
See, I believe our rights come from God, not from government.
Hello to my truth and freedom-seeking friends. I'm Paymon Motahede, the president of Freedom Law School, and in this presentation, I will show you why most Americans are not required to file and pay federal income taxes. Go to our website, freedomlawschool.org, for more. I'm going to go straight to only U.S. government's official legal websites to make this point for you in just a few minutes. We're going to start with the IRS's own 1040 income tax, U.S. individual income tax return form. It says U.S. individual. That's a key term. We'll come back to what that U.S. individual, who that is, because this is not a 50 states individual income tax return. It is the District of Columbia individual income tax return, as you shall see. Let's go to the 1040 form instructions at the IRS's website, irs.gov, page 8, and about filing requirements. IRS correctly tells all of us that these rules apply to all U.S. citizens. What is United States or U.S.? To be citizens of it, we'll find out regardless of where they live and resident aliens. And now, the law is published here as uscode.house.gov. We're going to go here and show you the Federal Income Tax Law, Title 26, Internal Revenue Code. This is right here, the entire Internal Revenue Code on paper in my hand. It's available for free, as I showed you, at uscode.house.gov. All over 10,000 pages of small font minutia, tiny font of confusion. The definitions are hitting in the back to confuse you because you will not look it up in the back. It's not in the front like it should be. So here it is. Everybody knows, every accountant will tell you that Section 1 of the Code, tax on individuals, is the law that requires imposition of individual income tax. But the law is not very clear. The regulation of that, CFR 1.1-1, is much more clear about this issue. And it tells us Section 1 of the Internal Revenue Code imposes an income tax on the income of every individual who is a citizen or resident of the United States. Okay, we're going to come back to the United States momentarily. Furthermore, if you go down, again, we are told in 1.1-1B, citizens or residents of the United States liable to tax. In general, all citizens of the United States, wherever residents and all resident alien individuals are liable to income tax imposed by the code. Okay, we're going to focus on this first part. Who is a citizen of the United States, which depends on what is the United States to begin with. Well, let's go and see. They define these things, folks. Yes, the Internal Revenue Code, Title 26, there's a Chapter 79. It's all definitions. Page after page of definition of so many mundane things that says when used in this title, here are the definitions. What title? Title 26, the Internal Revenue Code, the federal tax laws, okay? So let's see how United States and state are defined according to this chapter. Here we go to 9 and 10. The term state, let's go with that first. The term state shall be construed to include the District of Columbia, which is not even a state. None of the 50 states are listed here, but D.C., which is not even a state, it's in there. Why? Because Congress chose to do so. They can do that if they want to. Let's look at the United States. When used in a geographical sense, it includes only the state, which we know is now D.C., and the District of Columbia once again. So the United States is what? D.C. plus D.C. Well, you have 2 or 50 D.C.s, adds up to only the District of Columbia. Yes, that is a citizen that got to file income tax. District of Columbia citizens, not the people of the 50 states. Now, I know you're thinking, Paymon, come on. Obviously, the 50 states are included, implied in the definition of state and United States, right? Wrong. According to who? The U.S. Supreme Court. We're going to follow what the Supreme Court tells us. Here's a case in 2024, okay? This was a unanimous tax case that just came out in 24, and here's what it says, the relevant language about definitions. When Congress takes the trouble to define terms it uses, a court and all of us must respect its definitions as virtually conclusive. This court will not deviate from an express statutory or legal definition merely because it varies from the term's ordinary meaning. Ordinarily, state of the United States mean the 50 states, but on tax law, it does not, because that's how Congress chose to do it, and the Supreme Court unanimously tells us we must follow that definition. And here's a tax case of Gould versus Gould, unanimous tax case in 1917, and take this principle even to the point firmer, because it's a tax case, the law is even firmer and stronger. In their interpretation or understanding of statutes, laws, levying taxes, and understanding laws that impose taxes, it is the established rule not to extend the provisions by implication or implying beyond the clear import of the language used. Yep. If something's not there, it's not there. Or to enlarge the operation of tax laws so as to embrace matters not specifically pointed out. The 50 states are not listed in definition of the United States in the Internal Revenue Code, so it's not there. See, this is clearly as it can be, but the court tells you, in case you have any doubt whatsoever about this issue, the doubts are resolved or construed most strongly against the government's power to tax and in favor of the citizen, you not being taxed. Very clear, folks. United States does not apply in tax law to the people of 50 states. It only applies to the District of Columbia people. I'm going to give you one example where they do use the term 50 states. Here it is in the Internal Revenue Code again. Subchapter A, tax on petroleum. Here you see the 50 states applies to oil taxes. Here it is. And they tell us right here, for the purpose of this subchapter. Again, what subchapter? Subchapter A, tax on petroleum. Look at the United States definition. What means the 50 states? There it is. They spell out the 50 states where they can, and a bunch of U.S. territories, and even continental shelf areas, and the foreign trade zones. So that's very clear, folks, right here. When you see the law, in Section 7701, it does not apply to the people of 50 states. This 1040 form is not for you, the people of the 50 states. It's a D.C. individual income tax return. They have to pay income tax, not you, the people of the 50 states. And if you want, you can stop income tax withholding for free on our website. It's there available for you. Just go on the right, okay? On there, free yourself from tax withholding is there. Stop the stealing your income tax return from your paycheck by your boss. Stop on tax returns. Drain the swamp. Have more money to fund yourself, your family, your freedom, and you're going to watch the more complete video on the subject below. Click on a link below, the more complete video on this topic. You can be free. It's all on our website, freedomlawschool.org. I cannot make it free. You have to make yourself free by going to our website, freedomlawschool.org. I love you all, and I hope you can take the steps for you to live free and together. And America be a free country once again.